Hello everyone, in today's video we are going to talk about converse of Pythagorean theorem. The converse of Pythagorean theorem answers the question, is the triangle right-angled or not? Before we are going to have the converse of Pythagorean theorem, first we are going to analyze what is a converse. Consider the sentence below. If the angles of the shape add up to 180 degrees, then the shape is a triangle. To make the converse statement, swap around the parts of the statement in the black box. So if the shape is a triangle, then the angles of the shape add up to 180 degrees. This is the converse statement. So we studied Pythagorean theorem last Monday. So the Pythagorean theorem states that in a right triangle, the square of the hypotenuse is equal to the sum of the squares of the two legs. So we have a squared plus b squared is equal to c squared. Now let us have the converse of the Pythagorean theorem. It states that if the square of one side of a triangle is equal to the sum of the squares of the other two sides, then the triangle is a right triangle. So we have c squared is equal to a squared plus b squared, where C is the side opposite of the right angle, and of course the legs are is still A and B. So let us have examples. Let us answer the question, is the triangle with the given lengths a right triangle? The first step that we are going to do is to identify the longest side or the highest number. So in the first example, it is 6. 4 squared plus 5 squared, is it equal to 6 squared? 4 squared is equal to 16, then 5 squared is equal to 25. So it is equal to 41. 41 is not equal to 36. So it is not a right triangle. It is no. Now let us have the second one. 3 square root of 2 is the longest side. 3 squared plus 3 squared, is it equal to 3 square root of 2 squared? So 3 squared is equal to 9. So we have 9 plus 9. Is it equal to 3 squared times the square root of 2 squared? So in here, we are going to cancel the radical symbol and the power of 2. So we get on the left side 9 times 2. So 9 times 2 is 18. And 9 plus 9 is 18. So 18 is equal to 18. So therefore, it is a right triangle. So our answer, yes. Then the third example, the longest side is 26. 10 squared plus 24 squared, is it equal to 26 squared? So 100 plus 576, is it equal to 676? So 676 is really equal to 676. So therefore, our answer is yes. It is a right triangle. Now let us take a look at the last example. So in here, this triangle cannot be constructed at all. Why? Because 4 plus 4 is less than 9. So always, if we are going to add the smallest side or the two small sides, it should be greater than the longest side to construct a triangle. So let us have another theorem, Theorem 2. So it states that c squared is less than a squared plus b squared. Then measure angle C is less than 90 and triangle ABC is an acute triangle. So take note, angle C is always the largest angle and C is always the longest side. Now let us have another theorem, Theorem 3. It states that if c squared is greater than a squared plus b squared, then measure angle C is greater than 90. And triangle ABC is an obtuse triangle. So always remember, angle C is always the largest angle and C is always the longest side. So let us use the side lengths of the triangle to determine whether it is acute, right, or obtuse. So remember that if c squared is equal to a squared plus b squared, then the triangle is a right triangle. While if c squared is less than a squared plus b squared, then the triangle is an acute triangle. While if c squared is greater than a squared plus b squared, then the triangle is an obtuse triangle. So let us have example number 1. So first, let us determine the longest side, which is 29. And we are going to ask 29 squared, which is 841, is it equal or less than or greater than 20 squared, which is 400, plus 21 squared, which is 441. 400 plus 441, it is equal to 841. So therefore, they are equal. So we can conclude that the triangle is a right triangle. Now let's move on to example number 2. First, let us determine the longest side, which is equal to 30. In here, we are going to ask, is 30 squared, which is equal to 900, equal or less than or greater than 20 squared, which is equal to 400, plus 21 squared, which is equal to 441. So 400 plus 441, it is equal to 841. So 900 is greater than 841. So therefore, the triangle is an obtuse triangle. Now let us have example number 3. The longest side is 28. So we are going to ask, is 28 squared or 784 equal, less than, or greater than 400, which is 20 squared, plus 21 squared, which is equal to 441. 400 plus 441, it is equal to 841. And 784 is less than 841. So therefore, the triangle is an acute triangle. Now let us have example number 4. So the longest side is 16. And note that if a radical is given, you may need to do this to compare before completing your setup. So meaning we are going to square 8 square root of 3 first. So in squaring this one, it would be equal to 8 squared times 3, eradicating the square root symbol or sign. So 8 squared is equal to 64, and 64 times 3 is equal to 192. So we are going to ask 16 squared, which is equal to 256, is it equal or less than or greater than 64 plus 192? So 64 plus 192 is equal to 256. So therefore, the triangle is a right triangle. Now it's time for practice. Do exercise 1B in your book, page 12. So that's it for now. Thank you for watching. See you again next time. Bye.